I have heard it too many times. Authoritarianism gets things done. Democracy is slow and messy. Look at China's high-speed rail. Mao unified the country. Xi Jinping built cities overnight. That's real efficiency. Let me stop you right there. Because once you've lived long enough, read deep enough, and watched how authoritarian systems actually work behind the propaganda, you realize something. Authoritarianism doesn't make things efficient. It just makes failures unaccountable. Myth number one, Mao got things done. Yeah, like the Great Leap Forward, which starved tens of millions of people to death because one man thought he could beat nature with backyard furnaces and fake wheat production stats. Let me tell you what real authoritarian efficiency looks like. Local officials inflating crop numbers to please Mao, grain quotas rising based on fake data, the state exporting food while its own people were eating dirt at home, and not a single person in the chain of command dare say this is madness. Because under authoritarianism, telling the truth can get you killed. So they smiled, they clapped, they lied, and about 45 million Chinese lives disappeared into famine. That's not efficiency. That's organized delusion. Fast forward to Xi Jinping. Same playbook, different century. People praise his decisiveness, his long-term planning, his vision. But let me tell you what that looks like on the ground. I was in Shanghai right after the 2022 lockdowns. A city of 25 million, caged like animals for months. Drones in the sky barking instructions. Grandmas screaming from windows. Delivery guys the only ones allowed to move and barely surviving. The official line? This is for the greater good. The real story? Xi locked down entire cities to prove a political point that China's system was superior to Western chaos. But when Omicron broke through anyway, the zero COVID became zero reality. They ripped the band-aid off overnight. No preparation, no transition, just collapse. Hospitals flooded, pharmacies emptied, crematoriums went 24/7. What kind of efficient government keeps a billion people under house arrest for 2 years and then says, never mind, in one day? That's not competence. That's ego wrapped in policy. Look, I get it. Authoritarian regimes move fast. But here's the truth. Speed without accountability is just reckless acceleration. China built ghost cities no one lives in. Built dams that displaced millions. Belt and Road projects that buried poor countries in debt. Built entire industries like EVs or semiconductors with money printing and policy guidance instead of market logic. For a while, the GDP numbers looked great. But now, empty apartments, broken supply chains, tech firms suffocating under regulation, youth unemployment so high they just stopped reporting it. That's not a miracle. It's central planning with no breaks. Now, why do so many people buy the myth? Let's be honest. The myth of authoritarian efficiency is seductive because democracy is messy. Votes take time, debates drag on, politicians flip-flop, journalists expose corruption, protesters fill the streets, courts block executive orders. It just feels chaotic. But guess what? That chaos is the cost of freedom. That friction is how you prevent famine. That noise is how you avoid building 300 billion US dollars of empty towels. If the US messed up COVID policy, we debated on the live TV. If China messed up COVID, you didn't hear about it until people started dying. Authoritarianism isn't about efficiency, it's about control. Mao didn't want better farming, he wanted total obedience. Xi doesn't want economic success, he wants ideological purity and political survival. They are not technocrats, they are emperors with PR teams. And when the system breaks, they don't reform, they purge. Jack Ma disappeared. Doctors in Wuhan who first spoke out about COVID-19 vanished. Journalists who showed the truth were jailed. That's not how you fix a system. That's how you protect the lie. I used to believe China's system was different, but effective. I defended it. I argued for cultural relativism. Maybe it just works for the Chinese. But then I saw what happens when a system builds walls instead of checks and balances. When power centralizes so tightly that one single individual's mistake becomes national tragedy. When you get GDP with no happiness, skyscrapers with no life, factories with no future. And I realized authoritarian efficiency is just a myth. What it really delivers is silence, suffering, and spin. If democracy is slow, so be it. Better to argue for years than bury mistakes in mass graves. Better to have noisy protests than silent compliance. Mao's efficiency killed tens of millions. Xi's efficiency crushed innovation and paralyzed an economy. So next time someone says, well, at least China gets things done, my question is, at what cost?